Hello everyone, welcome to the Financial Information channel. My name is Marvin. In this video I'm going to give you the stock market news and I'm going to give you the earning that happened during the last 2 days. Now let's begin with the video. And the first thing we're going to take a look is to see how the Dow, the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 did during the week. And as you can see in the screen, the Dow went up 2% during the last 5 days. The Nasdaq went up 0.35% during the last 5 days, and the S&P 500 went up 0.75% during the week. So the biggest mover out of the three was the Dow. Now let's talk about the stock market news. And one of the news is Adobe. Adobe actually moved up quite a huge amount. I mentioned Adobe in the top 5 stocks to buy during September, and the company had moved up quite a huge amount. Remember, after posting earnings on September, the company had moved up and right now is setting up new highs. Just this week, the company had moved over 15%. And it is the best performing company in the S&P 500. So Adobe actually had their conference this week. They expect the revenue grow around 20% more for next year and the earning grow around 30%. Adobe announced a lot of products that are going to be really good in 2018. In addition, one of the most popular products, which is Adobe Lightroom, is going to be cloud-based. And a cloud-based product means that the user will have to pay a monthly fee to access that program. However, the user will receive updates for that specific program. And you have done great if you were able to buy shares after Adobe posted earnings in mid-September. And the next news is about Apple. There were a lot of news that the iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus were not selling really well. One of the Canadian CEOs said that the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus sales have been anemic. Now, I didn't think that the iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus were going to sell really well. What Apple did, it was a mistake. It released 3 iPhones on different dates. And also you have to keep in mind that most users want to get the iPhone X because that's going to have a new design. And I do think that the Apple company is one of the best companies in the stock market. So if the company drops a huge amount, it might be a good opportunity to get more shares or to get into this company. And the next company that I'm going to mention is going to be Facebook. And Facebook has been one of the best companies in the stock market this year. Facebook is testing a feature called Sets that is going to attack Pinterest. Basically, the main idea is to have the similar feature that Pinterest is doing at this moment. And the next news is that Facebook acquired a company, TBH, which is To Be Honest. Now that company has been a smash hit in the Apple Store. It has been in the top 10 during the last few months. And Facebook said that it's not going to interfere and it's going to have the company continue running their business just like it is doing at this moment. It was a smart acquisition because Facebook is not very popular with people that are in high school. And that is the main focus of the TBH app, is to target those ages between 12 to 18. And the last news about Facebook is that they announced a partnership between Facebook Messenger and PayPal. And I wasn't expecting this, to be honest. And I want to mention PayPal soon because they reported earnings this week. And the last 2 news is that LYFT is exploring the idea to have the IPO in the stock market in 2018. As you know, Uber is the most popular app between Lyft and Uber. However, Lyft has been doing really well during the last few years. And the last news is that Republican-led Senate actually approved a budget measure that is going to make it easier to have the tax proposal be approved in Congress. And if the new tax plan by the president gets approved, the stock market is going to continue moving up during the next few months. Now for next week, we're going to continue having the company reported earnings. AMD is going to report next week. And most analysts expect to have AMD to either move up 10% or move down 10%. We will see what happens. And lastly, I'm going to mention the stock earnings that happened during the last 2 days. And the first company is Del Taco. Del Taco were in line with EPS and they beat the revenue by 0.54 millions. Their revenue year to year is 6.3%. And they had their comparable sales grow around 4.1% during the third quarter. Now the next company that reported earnings, and that company is KeyCorp, and they were in line with the EPS and they missed revenue. They missed the revenue by 10 millions. The revenue year to year is 15.7%. And the non-interest income was down 9.3% quarter to quarter, which is actually bad. Now for the next company to have reported earnings is PayPal. Now PayPal beat the EPS by 3 cents and the revenue by 60 millions. Their revenue year to year is 21.3%. And as you saw earlier in the video, Facebook actually partnered with PayPal and PayPal business continued growing up. One of the best decisions that this company has made is to separate from eBay. Now I'm going to do more research on the company and get an idea why the company has moved up so much. Now the next company that reported earnings was Verizon. Verizon were in line with APS and they beat the revenue by 270 millions. Their revenue year to year is 2.5%. And Verizon actually had a good quarter. It continued getting more new subscribers. The company added more than 500,000 of subscribers. A little bit less of the 500,000 new subscribers were using smartphones, which is actually really good in my opinion. And now for the next company that reported earnings was General Electric. And General Electric had an EPS of 29 cents. And the company beat the revenue by 910 millions. The revenue year to year is 14.3%. And the company posted bad earnings, but the company shares moved down quite a huge amount before the market had opened. And before the market had closed for the day, the company ended up on the green side. It actually was positive. It was weird to see it huge down before the market opened and ended up on the positive. And I think General Electric might come back during the next few quarters. However, you have to be really careful because I think the company might reduce the dividend during the next few months. Now for the next company that reported earnings was Honeywell. Honeywell were in line with the EPS and the company beat the revenue by 110 million. Their revenue year to year is 3.2%. And the Honeywell continue having excellent earnings. They posted a 5% organic growth. And the next company to have reported earnings was Procter & Gamble. Now Procter & Gamble had beat the EPS by 1 cent. However, it missed the revenue by 50 millions. Their revenue year to year 0.8%. And the company actually moved down quite a huge amount, and the reason is the sales were not impressive. Now let's go to the next company and the last one for the week, and that is the energy company called Schlumberger. And the company was in line with the EPS and they were in line with the revenue. The revenue year to year is 12.7%. And this is one of the companies that is going to make a huge turnaround once the energy sector rebounds. So I will put it on the watch list just to get an idea and keep track to see how the company is going to move up in 2018. And that is going to be everything for the video. Please leave in the comment section below if you're investing in any of the companies mentioned in this video. And I do have shares in Apple, Facebook and Adobe, and I do have shares in Procter & Gamble, which had been a disappointment during the last few years. And remember, you can subscribe to the Financial Information channel. I want to continue bringing videos about the stock market, personal finance and how to make money online. I want to thank you once again for watching the video. Have an excellent day and take care, my friends.